Pierre, let's talk about your work and how we started working together, because we made an exhibition in 2020, Love and Care, but we know each other already much longer.
Yes, I think it was me who contacted you because I was working on an exhibition that was very close to my own skin, to my own life.
Hmm.
So my firstborn, our firstborn, for my wife and me, was born with a very severe disability, spina bifida and hydrocephalus. And I became an activist for the rights of treatment of these children. But in my art, it was very seldom that I came out with it. I was doing other art, by my art. It has been influenced by my life, of course, but I never came out really with the theme of the disability of my daughter, who passed away when she was 11. So I wanted to show the untreated children with hydrocephalus, so children with very big heads that are not treatment. In a way, they look awful if you do not paint them through the eyes of the mothers. So I took photos that mothers posted on Facebook about their child, not because the child was disabled, but because they love their child. The child
Hmm.
was in a bath, the child was playing, the child was laughing, and this loving care was seen by the eyes of the mother. And for me, it was the first time to, after 40 years, to do classic painting again, because I really wanted the paintings to be beautiful. And it was very nice because I were in my studio, and when children came in, they first saw the child and not the big head. And that was very nice. So that was what I wanted to do. That only in a second face that you see, oh, there is something wrong with these children. As a
Hmm.
kind of cry for attention, because it's about 1 million cases a year, which is huge, and nobody could, no CNN, no Al Jazeera, no cameras on it. So it's completely hidden. I call it a hidden tsunami. So, and then I wanted a curator that takes care of me as well, to come out with this difficult work of art for me, bringing these two worlds together.
Yeah, it was a marvelous experience. Weird, because it was right in the COVID period, so we had to curate it together, as we've sort of always done. We've done
Mm.
things always together, which is really nice, um, via WhatsApp. And it's the one and only, I hope, exhibition that I couldn't visit myself. I have only
Yeah,
seen images of it, but
yeah,
that's what was one of the reasons why I decided to show a selection of the paintings again when I was asked to be the curator of the Watu Arts Festival in 23, which I named composition after an important um, word for Bruno Latour, and which also talks about taking care of each other. So that's sort of the red.
it was interesting that you showed it in a rather small space. They are very
Yeah,
huge. They are 2 meters high on one
yeah,
meter and a half. And in the factory hall where we showed it for the first time, they were in a way small, like the pictures on Facebook. And when you, of course, when you came closer to the paintings, you saw the full painting. But here you really were. It was really getting in your face.
yeah.
Because they were very in a rather small. It was a complete other composition, but it worked very well. I was afraid of it, but you were right. It worked very well.
Well, thank you. So now we're working on Moshi, the 3rd of December, Covers for the World. The title comes from, well, your series of more than 4,000 drawings on small format, because you paint them on reproductions of the work of other artists, modern artists, contemporary artists, classical artists sometimes also, um, that are depicted in catalogs, in art books, in art magazines. And you cover them with naked little figures, men and women. Why?
Well, these Nate figures came in my art in a way without knowing. So when my child was born, in the beginning, I couldn't paint
Mhm.
because we thought she would die immediately. eh? And then I started to paint abstract expressionism, a little bit like the new wilds from Germany, as a kind of reaction. And in that painting, these figures occurred. They came out. It became about flesh. It became about life. It became about yeah. I was touched in my own life, in my own body, in my own flesh. So it's a lot about flesh in my and about skin. So, but naked also, because when you are naked, you are like you are. You can't cover you after behind the title or behind money or behind uh, uh, studies. You are just like you are. And it is in this naked encounter that I started the projects in Africa for children with spina bifida and hydrocephalus as a parent, for parents, fighting
Mhm.
together, crying together, laughing together. Eh? So this naked means just be like you are and meet
Mhm.
people.
Yeah, you explain it very eloquently in a book that you've written and that we'll also try to publish, Bear Together. So where this all comes together effectively, this being naked, being honest, being pure, being open. And we're not going to show all the 4,000 drawings in Moshi, although you we bring them on the art market, and the idea is to use the profits for Child Help International, or your part of the profits anyway. So we're working on that. But we show other things in Moshi. We show a selection of your work. To begin with, maybe talk about your take on the Demoiselle d'Avillon by Picasso. You did the first version for the Biennial of East Africa with 3 artists that are based in Europe. Ricardo Bray, who's Cuban, Willow Gonesse, who is Belgian, and Mulugeta Tafese, who's Ethiopian but living in Belgium. And this time, you give the whole painting back to Africa. Can you explain a bit what you're doing?
Yeah. Um, well, I just give it to 4 African artists um, because in a way Picasso took this mask, put in the Demoiselle d'Avignon. You see African masks. He just took it because they saw them in a colonial museum, and it was very touched. They're beautiful, this mask. So he used it in his painting. But like colonization did and still doing in post-colonial period, is taking out of Africa, taking out from them and not giving back. So giving them back, giving the painting back, and ask African artists to paint on it, this is really, yeah, giving back what was in a way stolen. And in that way, and the artists really are working very well with it. And you did several interviews with them. And yeah, this colonization, they're part of this post-colonized world, and they really react on it in a very powerful way.
Yes, absolutely. And we've seen already some results because they're finishing their part of the Demoiselle, and we're very excited to show it in the exhibition. And there are some other elements as well that we can maybe briefly discuss. For instance, there's going to be a 13th painting in the series of Loving Care. Maybe you can talk about that first.
Yeah, so I wanted to cover these 12 paintings with some hope, because the painting I made is a painting of the first child that was hosted by the new House of Hope. It's a guest house for parents near a referral hospital. It was the first child that was received there. And the child got a chance, was treated. And in a way, it is giving hope. And in a way, this is what we want to do with the Knowledge Center, is giving hope and making treatment affordable. So in that way, and I had to make it in several pieces because I have to travel with it to Africa. So it is on the format of my suitcase, but it is also 2 meters on 1.5 meters. It is the same distance, but in all small panels, so that I can take it in my hand luggage.
Yeah, and another work that I've seen it not finished yet, but so I will see it finished in Moshi. So that's going to be exciting. And another work that you're working on is making use of infusion bags, 12 of them.
Yeah, infusion bag is of course something medical. It's to treat people.
Mhm.
And what I do is I was looking for values, African values that have been destroyed by by the colonial period. And together with Africans, I found 12 beautiful values that risk to disappear. And it's in a way to rehabilitate these values, these values like being together, solidarity, things like that. Probably the opposite of the post-colonial, sorry, um, the liberal, consuming art in Europe. I can't find the word now. Anyway, so it's really the opposite, and yeah, it's to rehabilitate these values together with them, and we will make that work of art interactive, so that they can also add values. I made another work of art on heroes, African heroes, where they can add their own heroes. They can write it and put them on the work of art, so that is really kind of interaction with our African friends there.
Yeah, and the building of SHARE, so the Global Center for Accessible Care, Knowledge Center for Accessible Care, rather, has also nice garden, and we're going to use that as well, because we're going to plant moringa trees. Can you tell a bit about that?
Yeah, the moringa tree has a lot of healing things. You can use it as medicine. You can use it to food. You can use it for many things. So the moringa tree is a very important tree in Africa for also in medicine. And we want to plant 7 trees relating to the 7,000 trees that Joseph Beuys planted in the Documenta, as a kind of sign of hope. So we are covering in a way as well Joseph Beuys, who really was the artist who made art into action for society. So that's what we want to do with this work with this exhibition, and we want to do it with the Knowledge Center as well. Action for change.
Exactly, and we work around the notion of care, art, and care, creativity, and art activism, which has become very important for both of us. Well, I look very much forward in building the show together with you and with the African artists, Prince John Hugo, Lightness Jonas, David Valerian, and Lillian Munro, and to meet them and to work effectively on the notion of hope together with you.
If I can end by saying something, a coincidence. So we selected this artist because we thought they were a good artist, but 2 of them are disabled.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's and we have not chosen them because of disability.
No, we've chosen them for the work that they made, but it's quite wonderful how they've been dealing, because that is also something about Child Help International, that you've always integrated people. And there's some patients that you've integrated and that now work for Child Help International as well.
Oh yeah. So the children we saved 30 years ago are now working as staff in the different projects. Yeah. That's wonderful, because they tell their own story. So it's very, very hope. It gives hope to the parents for the future of their child. So it's a lot about hope.
Yeah, and it's these artists, Lightness Jonas, who paints with her feet, and Lillian Munro, both are also really showing how they are not defined by their disability, and that they so that their creativity or the quality of their work is not defined by their disability, which is quite often the case, that people think, well, oh yeah.
And they both are in a way activists on decolonization and activists on disability as well. So it's exciting. It was a gift. It was not planned, but we got it, and we are very happy with it.
Well, when you're open to things and not closed in, when you open yourself up to whatever can happen, then you find these beautiful accidents along the way.
So, indeed.
Well, let's continue with that. And, okay, thank you very much, Pierre. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.